yeah, by the time it was all kind of getting together, I was like, I don't know if it needs bass, and it's kind of too much. And I mean, I'd originally planned to get some grant money and record it with the band, and then the band kind of didn't really break up, but there were certain members that couldn't do it anymore, and then we didn't get grant money, and then I went back to rehab, and then it was like, this isn't really going to get done unless I just do it solo. So what am I doing here? Okay, first things first. I walked in here on February 15th after just finishing 3 months of treatment in November. So I had 3 months after graduating the last treatment center that were not very good. And so you kind of come in here and I'm just like, I'm back. I'm in Surrey. It's my 5th time going to rehab. Like, you kind of feel like a bit of a failure. But what I learned is that, that's not a failure. That's a sign of the love that you bear for yourself. Going to rehab for a 5th time is, just what I said. It's a sign that you care about yourself, that you care about the people that are in your life. And some problems are not solvable so easily, and so you keep going, and that's okay. If it was an addiction, then it wouldn't, I don't know, then it would be something else. So I feel really good about coming back. I don't feel any shame about coming back. I don't think there's any failure in coming back. Coming back is a win. Staying out there smoking crack by yourself is the failure. But even that's not a failure, because, it's... When I think about, when I was sober and experiencing all this sort of success, and when we filmed Crux, and, there's this dude on top of a mountain that was sober and loving life and was winning, and on the surface that person seems like a better person, or maybe a more valuable person, maybe just to me, than the person who's smoking crack by themselves, or the person who's walking into rehab on day 1 for the 5th time. One seems better than the other, but they're not. I mean, the person walking into rehab on day 1, that person has just as much heart, just as much value, just as much courage than the guy that's I'm winning at life. And of course I seek to have pure and honest and healthy experiences more than, isolated and destructive ones. But I don't know. I mean, it wasn't winning that taught me who I was and what I was capable of. So at this stage in the game, I mean, I don't plan on going back to that life, but I wouldn't relieve myself of it if I could go in the past. It's been really important for me to go through. And it's actually given me a lot in terms of the amount of access to therapy I wouldn't have gotten, just the time to make an album, to work on myself, to really learn how to love myself. Loving yourself is easy when you're killing it, and you don't really have to learn much about it because you're just kind of I love myself. But learning how to really love when things are really difficult, that's what's going to serve you later, and that's what's going to serve the world. I don't think I was given problems or addiction or difficult things to work through so that I could just be good at solving problems and become problem free. I mean, that would be nice, but the world doesn't really benefit from that. I suppose maybe my friends do, because they would have less to worry about, but really there's not really value in me being problem free other than my own comfort. But going through all this stuff to learn kindness and love and be able to offer that first to myself and then to the world, like that has a lot of benefit and value. So I feel like I was given addiction as something that was there to serve a greater purpose.
When did you learn to play the piano?
I learned it in rehab. I learned it at Pacifica, where I was at before here. I walked in there and, you know, they take your phone away. You don't really... So they had a piano there and, you know, without any distractions. Like, we had a lot of programming. I was doing like 8 hours of therapy a day in groups and stuff. But then in the free time, it was like nothing to do. And they had a piano and they had this big poster in front of it that had like every chord you could play and just would show you where to put your hands. And my mom was a piano teacher and tried to teach me like numerous times as a kid, and I just refused to learn. I ended up learning how to play drums, but I kind of always could hear things, and, you know, I just started sitting down and messing around with places to put my fingers, and, you know, you could kind of see a chord and then it would tell you which chord would like work with it in certain ways. And I mean, the first one I wrote was really simple. It was called Pierogi Moon, and it's basically just a 3-chord song. And most of the songs, they're kind of just these classic, well, maybe I shouldn't call them classic, but pop progressions that are pretty simple but just sound nice. So Pierogi Moon was just a G.
Spending my days at Pacifica Place, and I'm thinking of you. I stopped biting my nails, I clipped them away like you'd want me to. I'm doing my time, I'm waiting in line so I can see you.
first song. So yeah, I figured a lot of it out by accident. Like I'm trying to go for the G chord and then hitting the one above it and being like, ooh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the ending of Crux ends with that, with me nearly committing suicide. And then luckily everybody, my whole community came through and I was able to go to treatment. So I went to a treatment center in November 2020. My dad got really sick during that time and was terminal. And so I actually ended up leaving treatment a month early to go home and spend the last few weeks with him in his life. And I was really glad I did that. I got to be there right till the end of his life, and it was quite special experience I'm really grateful for. I stayed in Ontario for a couple months with my mom, and then I made plans to move back here in March of 2021. And yeah, again, it was that vulnerability of kind of like, I'd gone through a big thing and a big loss, and there was some other core relationships that were really important in my life that I had lost in 2020. So I kind of came back to Vancouver optimistic, feeling good, but without really any place to land. And I started using again. And I was able to kind of keep it manageable and hidden for about a year. But in that period, that's when I was introduced to this other method of using cocaine, which really escalated things. I could barely contain it. The relapses, the using intensified a lot. I got really in trouble with money, borrowing money from internet loan companies, and I was smoking crack like crazy. It was really, really intense. Luckily, I made the decision to go back to treatment again, and that was in June of last year, but I wasn't able to get in until August. Got in August, and this is kind of where I began all of this. I completed that treatment center in November of 22, and then had to come back again in February of 2023, and that brings us to here. And this time decided to completely move out of my apartment and stay here for a year. And I feel pretty great now. It's been 4 months sober. That's the longest I've had, I think, since filming Crux. So this was the last song I wrote for the record. That tremolo. Yeah, the twangy Telecaster. So, cocaine is bad for love. This is open tuning. You basically get to hold every string.
20,000 into my reasons, chancing and chasing the evenings, splitting all my favorite parts into pieces, sneaking away for the feeling. Cocaine is bad for love. Cocaine is bad for love. You're not loving it all when you're lying. Forgiving won't heal if it's keeping you dying.
needed to be written for myself, I think. You know, a song like that, like, I wrote it the first week or two of coming back here. And it was, you know, just kind of like an honest love letter to myself. Like, I mean, you heard the lyrics. It's a pretty good reminder of what's important to me and what gets in the way of that. The whole album is kind of, I wouldn't say it's like centered around recovery in the direct sense, but it's definitely focused on, there's the theme of self-love and joy, and really that like capacity of love that's like goes beyond just a romantic feeling towards something pleasant. You know, the love that's kind of there with you in the thick of the shit. So yeah, and I mean, to have a beautiful collection of songs that I wrote, of art that encapsulates such a pivotal time in my life, it's something I'll have forever. It's pretty special, you know, like I'm not walking out of here with a certificate that says like, yeah, you're 3 months sober, you know. It's like I get this snapshot of, you know. Oh God. Welcome to... See, this wouldn't happen in a recording studio. Someone's gonna watch this who actually knows what they're doing and just be like, what the fuck, dude? In some ways, it would have been really nice to like go into a studio and work with some friends and, you know, spend some time with some good equipment making a really beautiful sounding record. But like, in some ways, it's kind of cooler that it didn't cost me anything, just a trip to rehab. going to treatment's not easy. But once I walked through the doors, you know, your stress levels actually do go down. I mean, compared to trying to manage loans and money and being up for days smoking cocaine and the feeling like you're going to get fired and, you know, hiding from people and lying and just the stress of addiction and the exhaustion of it, you know. Once you can check into a place and you're like, I'm safe, I'm not gonna OD and die, I'm gonna be able to eat tonight. Like all those things kind of cool down the situation, and then it takes a little bit to like level out to that. But as soon as I started feeling healthy again, like, yeah, I mean, there was just all this opportunity for creativity and for my joy to come out. And my sadness and my all those things, but I feel like it's a pretty joyful sounding record though for a rehab album. My friend Johnny, who produced our last record, said that. He's like, sounds pretty happy for a record made in rehab.
So what's this one about?
Yeah, it's called Learning to Be Alone, and it's kind of just about the dark days of doing drugs by myself. In fact, the second verse has a direct reference to smoking crack. It goes, do I sing it? I gotta get the key. I like how it's kind of like that 50s. Like, Earth Angel, or like, time is on my side, except about smoking crack. It's July, but I'm caught inside. The water is boiling over, but it's cooking right. And I'm just fine. I'm so happy I could die. It's about cooking up cocaine. 'Cause I got a tiger by the tail, running away from the feeling I get when I walk through the door. Learning to be alone. Learning to be alone. I'm just learning to be alone. Learning to be alone. I don't know if these headphones are messing with my mic. I had written a couple songs just sort of pre-going to Pacifica, and I went to a treatment center in Vancouver called Pacifica, and I was, you know, I checked in and didn't realize what the facilities were like, but they had a piano there, and I didn't have my cell phone because they took it away, and I just started sitting down at that piano and writing songs with my spare time, and then I ended up writing 11 of them. And I didn't plan on making a whole album or recording any of it, and it just kind of developed through that. And there was a client at Pacifica that I developed quite a close relationship with. Nothing, you know, too intimate, but emotionally intimate. And I ended up writing some of the songs about her. And it was a, you know, multi-gender facility, and they're pretty strict on clients developing relationships with each other, especially romantic ones. And, you know, we were kind of already on the radar for our, you know, our friendship that was developing. They're like, so we notice you and so are like eating together every day, and you're going for the walks together, and you're together a lot. Like, you know, they call it pairing, and they've run the facility for long enough that you know, they can see it happening. Anyway, this person was my roommate not roommate, but she lived across the hall from me. And there's cameras everywhere so they can see when you're together and stuff like that. But we figured out that our doors were opposing the hallway, and we would sit in our rooms with the doors open and just like talk to each other across the hall, and the cameras couldn't see us because a camera can't see around a right angle corner. So we would sit there and talk and flirt and vape, and I was like, oh, it's just like we're on a patio, like hanging out together. Patio Pacifica. And that's where the name came from. And there's the title track on it called Patio Pacifica. That's about her. Should I play it? I don't remember. Oh. Where is it here? Struggling. She had a hard time there, but she's doing good now. I'm proud of her. So, yeah, I love these songs. This one originally was like a lot slower too. It was like, maybe I'll just give you a reference. I'd written it pre-going to treatment too. And it was like, but had to make it more Someone had to write a love song about me. I guess it just had to be me. I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna love and take care of my body so I can show up, maybe be of some use. I'm lighting your fire, all your burning desire. I'll always be true, it's between me and you. I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna feed you, I'm gonna treat you, 'cause Harvey, you're mine. I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna feed you, I'm gonna treat you, 'cause Harvey, you're mine. Making sure I know all I don't know, so I can be whole, show up right. Oh, I'm already ready, and I'm on it tonight. Gonna feel alright when I'm doing you right. Even though you don't see, I'll teach you how to be free. I'm showing you how, yeah, you're stuck with me now. I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna feed you, I'm gonna treat you, 'cause Harvey, you're mine. I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna feed you, I'm gonna treat you, 'cause Harvey, you're mine.
After trying to kill myself, I could not love myself anymore. That was the biggest thing. Like, it was like, love yourself or die. So I chose to love myself.